Hi everyone, this is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk, Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours. It is April the 12th, 2017, and yesterday, sort of out of nowhere, but I actually in retrospect could feel it had been brewing for a little while, I was asked by Spirit to make a video. And I thought it was just going to be one, but actually it's two. So this is the first one, the first video, which is actually preparing you for the next one to come, which will be released in time for Friday, which links into Good Friday and the Easter celebrations. Now, those of you that have been with me a while know that I particularly channel Archangel Metatron, increasingly also bringing in the other archangels. I did a series of videos last Christmas where I started to introduce some of the Ascended Masters, of which one was the Christ Consciousness. And I'm saying the Christ Consciousness because it's not the Christ necessarily of the church, although obviously it has aspects of that, but it isn't linked to church. It is a non-denominational energy. I'd encourage you just to go back and maybe watch that video again if you feel called to, because it sort of introduces the energy. Within the range of sprays that I make, I've got 32 at the moment, and there is only one that isn't linked to Archangel Metatron and Archangel Sandalphon, because it's a Metatron colour healing system. But the one Ascended Master that did come through at least a year or so ago was the Christ energy. And I've got the bottle here just to show you. So it's called Christ Light Cosmic Love. And that's been sitting and working with many of you now for a little while. It comes in with the coral ray. And I felt, as I said, really, I was actually walking the dog yesterday by the sea, and I had this very strong message that I needed to make a video, as I say, for Good Friday, linked to letting go of our respective suffering, pain, and the cross that we carry on our back. And it's very much to do with removing the pain, the bloodshed, that whole imagery from the Christ energy, and instead, which is what Christ wants to bring forward now, bring in an energy which is linked into Ascension, which is to do with love, which isn't to do with church or denomination. It's to do with your personal connection to him as one of the Ascended Masters that is here to help. And he works with many other beings, and obviously the angels are there as well. It's one big melting pot, because the future that we're moving into is one of greater tolerance and understanding of different faiths, of different beliefs, but the Christ energy is coming forward in a new way, really for the first time in 2,000 years, trying to take itself out of the straitjacket that it's been placed in by institution, okay, and hierarchy, removing hierarchy, so that you have a personal relationship to this wonderful energy. And as I say, it's not to do with being a Christian, it's to do with having a relationship with Christ. And I am going to use the term Christ. I know many I hate the term New Age, but many in New Age circles refer also to Christ as Sananda, Jeshua. Obviously there's Jesus as well. To me, he's always been Christ, and that's what I prefer to call him. I don't feel I need to rename him because that is what he is to me. So, but if you want to call him something else, of course, that's completely fine. We're all different and we're all unique. Now, the video that is coming is going to be a healing, and it's going to be channeled guidance. But this video is to prepare you for that healing, and it is also to address some concerns that have come up overnight. I opened up my email this morning, and there are quite a few emails that have come in overnight in relation to another video that was put out only a couple of days ago by the very great spiritual teacher Doreen Virtue, who is a bit of a hero of mine anyway. I've got all of her books. You've seen me work and the way that I work, those of you that follow me. I've often referred to her cards, her oracle cards. Never done a course with her or met her in person, but I've very much been linked into her teaching and her energy for a long time, really, and credit her with a lot of the wisdom, hopefully, that I've integrated within myself as well with regard to angels and ascended masters. But there is a video that she put out a few days ago talking about her personal relationship to Jesus of Nazareth, which is how she refers to him as, and her calling really back to church, back to the structure of church. Now, American church is quite different to the church in the UK, where I come from. So I don't understand necessarily all the different ramifications and variations of church linked to different cultures, but she's certainly talking more about the path back to Jesus and distancing herself a little from some of her other teachings. She particularly refers to some of the ascended masters. And I don't want to comment too much. I just, if you feel drawn to watch it, watch it. And I just felt that I needed to say today that what I'm going to be bringing forward this week is probably going to be quite different from the teaching and the direction that she is going in at this moment. And that is absolutely fine, because there are many teachers out there who all have different sides and different, it's almost like sides to the same coin effectively, but it's important to honour and respect all beliefs. And in the week that I felt I was going to maybe be having to talk about honouring different faiths and different beliefs with regard to Christianity, it's interesting that I'm choosing to talk about Doreen with regard to somebody that's been a leading figure of the New Age movement, who is now feeling the need to go back full circle to sort of from where she came from. And so I'm seeing it as a circle, and it's perfect for her and it's right for her at this time in her life, and she feels happy and joyful with that. So she's obviously on the right path. But it's not the path that I'm following. So I'm being shown that it's like a circle that she's on. And I do feel there are probably personal reasons for her doing that I don't want to share. And that I didn't ask to personally be given, because you need permission to tune into somebody's energy field. And I wasn't even aware that that's what was happening yesterday. But I did receive a little bit of guidance in terms of maybe why she's choosing this particular path at this time, which is very personal to her. And I feel it was only given to me to help encourage me as a fellow teacher to just understand that that's where she's needing to go at this time. But I have another job to do here, another role to fulfill. I need to speak my truth as well, and that my truth is as valid as her truth, as are any other teachers out there that are coming from the right place. I hope that's all making sense. And then I drew this card this morning on it all just before I made this video for you, and it's the card of responsibility. And the words on the back say it all, really. It says, "Do what feels right for you above all else. It is impossible to please all parties in the present situation. You have responsibility only for your own life and actions. Others must take responsibility for themselves." So that card came out, and then I was guided to use the Spirit Oracle set of cards by Tony Carmine Salerno. And a card then flew out of the pack that I have actually, I don't think I've ever even seen before. And those of you that use cards probably understand what I mean by that, that you can be very familiar with a set of oracle cards, and there will be particular cards that come up time and time again. I mean, this is one that comes up a lot for me, which was the third card, which is the blessings card. It's like, oh yeah, there you are, you know, I know your energy. But another card flew out that I've never seen before, and it's just so profound, and it so answers much of what I've been questioning in my mind overnight. And it's this, and I'm going to show it to you. And I'm hoping the camera is going to focus in on it okay. And it's the card of ancient knowledge. It's an indigo blue colour. Now, to me, the figure on that card looks like Christ, okay? It's certainly the image, the traditional image of Christ that we're used to seeing. Now, whether you believe he looked like that or not doesn't really matter. It's more that that's quite a familiar face to me. You know, that looks like him. That's sort of how I have grown up imagining him. And can you see that his face is sort of cut into two? It's like there is a duality there. So I'm feeling the Metatron energy very strongly within this card as well, the light and the dark. And of course Christ also talked about the light and the dark, but I'm feeling there's a Metatron energy. And then the more I looked at it, I was really quite gobsmacked by the fact that within this face that I'm feeling is Christ, we have three really important symbols. We have the star, okay, you see that there? We have the star. And you know, I teach about the Merkaba. I teach about this, I'm just looking for one to see if I've got one behind me. No, but it doesn't matter. This three-dimensional star of David, effectively, which is the Merkaba field. And I've done videos on that. You can look back and find them. But it's very linked into the Metatron energy, the Merkaba field. He teaches us how to switch it on, to activate it with his love and his light. So there we've got, for me, that's a symbol of the Metatron energy. But can you see within it, we've got the Ankh. We've got the Ankh, we've got the symbol of the Ankh. And yesterday on Facebook, I was talking about the video that's coming, which is about letting go of our own cross. The cross as a symbol of pain, of suffering, of our own pain. It was Christ's symbol of his pain and suffering. It's where he died. It's where blood was shed. And it's as though we've all been fixated on the cross. I was brought up as a Christian. I have been to church goodness knows how many times in my life. I don't go anymore, but I certainly went through a period where I went religiously every single Sunday. I was brought up that way. And then it sort of faded out as my beliefs started to change and evolve. Christ still remained with me, but I realised that there were other beings of light that also were coming forward, wanting to be with me, help me, heal me, work with me. One of which obviously was Metatron. But a few years ago, I suppose I'm one of these people now that I go to church sometimes, not always, on the festival days. So I might go at Christmas, I might go at Easter. I'm actually more called to go at Easter than at any time. And that's because to me, Easter is a time of such rebirth and renewal. And it's so important that we do that and that we renew ourselves and we rebirth ourselves. And so there's an annual time to do that, and it's the Easter time. But anyway, a few years ago, I went with my mum to the 3 o'clock service, which was the Good Friday service. And 3 o'clock is the time that they believe Christ died. And so the service ties into 3 o'clock. And another reason I often go to the Good Friday service is the hymns are so profoundly beautiful. There is one in particular that's called My Song is Love Unknown. I don't know if you know that hymn, but I love the words to it. It's one of my favourite hymns. My song is love unknown, my Saviour's love for me. I can't remember the words, but anyway. But the point is, I went to the service, and actually to my horror, there were probably about 6 people in the church. my mum, me, there was another younger friend of mine that was also there. And then, well, there were a few more people than that, but they were all very, very old. They were the type of people that go every single week and sit in the same seat every single week and don't want anything to ever change. And it felt totally and utterly dead. There was no energy within this church. And then the point where I really struggled and I was so challenged by was the vicar parades the wooden cross through the church, and we were all encouraged to come up and to kiss the cross. To kiss the cross, which is symbolic of pain, suffering, bloodshed. Why would I want to do that? I didn't do it. I sat and I didn't do it. My mum actually, I think, touched it. She didn't want to kiss it. But it's always stayed in my mind, this almost gothic, that's what it felt like. It felt like a gothic energy of wanting to really immerse yourself in the blood, the pain, the suffering, the thorns, all of that. And it struck me then that we're stuck there. We're stuck where Christ was 2,000 years ago on that cross. And he said to me, and has said to me subsequently, I'm not there. I'm not on that cross. I'm anywhere but the cross. He was there yesterday with me when I was walking my dog. He's in the sunshine. He's in the flowers. He's in you. He's in me. He isn't necessarily in that symbol of pain. And he doesn't have to be in a building, a church, and he doesn't definitely have to be received through another person. No hierarchy is needed. You can have a direct personal relationship with him right now, and he will be completely comfortable with that, with any other spiritual belief that you have. You know, and I know that's contentious and I know that's controversial, and it flies in the face of 2,000 years worth of teaching, and I will be probably criticised for it, but I'm speaking my truth here. This is what I feel he wants me to bring through. So it's moving away from the religion and the structure and the hierarchy and the dogma of Christianity to the new Christ consciousness, which is an energy that is around you, within you, available to you, whoever you are, and doesn't ask you to put down any other belief that you may hold. He just wants to be integrated within you. And that's challenging. I know it's challenging. But again, I look at this card and we've got here not just the energy of, I feel Metatron and Christ almost merged into one. I feel them very much as like a brotherly, they have like a brotherly relationship to each other. I've always felt that. So we have the Merkaba, we have the Ankh, and again we go back to the cross, that image of pain and suffering, and we've actually got this. Okay, this is my beautiful crystal, quartz crystal Ankh, okay, and I'll be referring to this more when I do specific work relating to the Ankh. But you can see here that the symbol here, I'm going to have to put it against the card so you can see it against my white wall, is it's the cross with a loop. It's the cross with that beautiful flow of energy. It's going up and around. It flows, okay? And it's an important symbol, and I feel this is about so much, okay? And we're not going to just link it to one thing. We're not going to link it just to Christ, because it's about, excuse me, so much more than that. But there is an aspect where it absolutely does link to the Christ consciousness, okay? And it's within this card. The other thing that we have within this card is the Om symbol, the sign of creation, sound, you know? And then on the back of the card, I'm going to read you what it says on the back of the card. It says, there is a flame inside your heart a light that stems from the dawn of time. Ancient love and ancient knowledge are being rekindled. Close your eyes, connect with and feel the loving wisdom you hold. Let it flow out from your heart and transform your life. And so with that, I think it's an appropriate moment just to use the spray and just to connect in to the energy of this new Christ consciousness. So I'm going to spray it around me, and I'd like you to tune into your heart space. And I'd like you to think of whatever name you want to give this energy. I'm calling it Christ. If you feel more comfortable with Sananda, or you feel more comfortable with Jeshua, or you feel more comfortable with Jesus, that is absolutely fine. So let's just put our hands onto our heart. Breathe in the coral ray. Let's take some deep breaths in together. So breathing in coral. Breathing out coral. Breathing in coral. Breathing out coral. Breathing in coral. Breathing out coral. Feel that coral, Christ energy, flow through you and around you. Feel the most beautiful coral cocoon start to form around your body. Feel the cells in your body becoming coral coloured. Unconditional love. Non-judgment. Acceptance. Peace. And as this coral energy flows through us from top to bottom, from side to side, from back to front, around and within, we open our heart to the energy of Christ in 2017 onwards. This is not the Christ of 2000 years ago. He has evolved from that, as you have evolved from that. This is the evolved Christ light. Feel it, sense it, allow it into your heart. And it feels at peace there. It's integrated there. It's allowed there. And if there is any resistance, just soften into that. Soften, soften into the love. And feel this energy, which is the Christ energy, to be one of pure love. Stripped of all the dogma, of all the decoration, of all the misrepresentation. Pure, loving, Christ energy, accepting of you, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you believe. And then we see before us coming forward many other ascended beings and teachers. And they will be different for each of you. They will be right for each of you watching. The teachers, the beings that you believe in, that you know, that you love, step forward in front of you, just witnessing this Christ energy within you. We see Buddha, we see Muhammad, we see all the great teachers. They are all there, and they link hands with each other. The Christ energy that is within you steps out now and joins the line of ascended masters that are here to serve you. And they bow before you. And they honour you. And they love you. They love you. They love you equally. And you realise in this perfect moment that it's just that you have resonated with one more than another. They all work together. And Christ is with each of them, not separate from them. And then they form a beautiful circle around you, so that you are in the centre of this energy. There are teachers there that you know, and there are teachers there that you were not aware of, or that were even in your sphere. They are all of the world's great spiritual teachers. And they are formed from all of the world's religions, all of the world's faiths. And you just take in this extraordinary, profound energy coming towards you. And then there is an outer circle forming, which is simply pure white light. And this pure white light is whom all of the teachers serve. All of the religions serve the same light. And this is Source, God. Universal consciousness. And you are part of each circle. You are within the ascended masters and teachers. You are within the outer sphere of Source. Attention turns to you in the center of the circle. You are important because you are here now. Let go of all prejudices, judgment, barriers and separation, and see all as one. Christ is coming forward now, I hear, to help heal the separation between the world's religions. Okay, just come back, breathe deeply, ground yourself, wiggle your toes, your hands, take a nice deep breath together, and realise that those circles, they're still around you, they're not going anywhere. I'm not quite sure what to say now, I'm a bit speechless myself. That felt very important. I'm just going to breathe in the Christ energy once more and just see if there's any other message before I end this. For those that have been turned away from me, I understand. For those that have rejected me, I understand. For those that do not resonate with the church, I understand. But do not reject me. I am simply your humble servant. I always was, and I always will be. I am your Christ, and I love you. Okay, we're going to leave it there, and I will be back with video 2 in a few days, and we will go on to some deep healing, letting go of our own suffering. I think in preparation for that, you can just be asking the Christ consciousness energy to show you what your cross that you've been carrying for many lives looks like, what it represents, and then we will dissolve and dismantle that in the run-up to Good Friday. Much love, everybody. Namaste. The divine in me sees the divine in you always.